Right, ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit of a slow start here. Had to get the media credentials and all that. So this is going to be Summer Creek out of the Humble area, somewhat near Bush International Airport, taking on the defending 6A state champion North Shore Mustangs, David Amador, the backup or third string quarterback, turned receiver to quarterback under center shotgun formation. And he's going to make it to just past the 40-yard line. So they are now in Summer Creek territory. Ball is going to be placed at the 39 on the far side hash. So we have North Shore in all white. So white pants, white tops with a red, somewhat of a stripe on their pants with red numbering, that traditional matte red color scheme for the helmet, and that traditional, somewhat similar to a SMU Mustang type of decal, metallic silver with white accenting that one. So Amador out of the shotgun formation, trips flanked to the near side of the field. 4 is in motion on the near side. So Amador barking out the signals. He is going to go 5-step drop, and he is going to, unfortunately, he is going to overthrow his intended receiver, and 5 is going to get the interception. He's going to bring it inside North Shore territory. So phenomenal play there by number 5. It's going to look like Paul Singleton, the senior DB. So, like I said, got a little bit of a later start overall. So score is already 7-0 in favor of the Summer Creek Bulldogs. So North Shore, of course, the odds-on favorite to win the league, as well as potentially repeat as state champions. They, of course, played Duncanville in that side of the Division 4 6A. Great game. And Texas playoffs, of course, it's not like 5A where they have straight up D1, D2. So it kind of depends on student enrollment, I believe, for all 4 seeds on either side. So 9, the slinging southpaw quarterback, going to hit his receiver in stride. So that's going to be a 9-1 connection. That's going to be Jarek Jones, the senior quarterback, to Rorian Richardson, the senior wide receiver. So far, it has been all Summer Creek Bulldogs from the onset. So 9 quarterback, kind of more like an RPO style. He's going to hand the ball off first back through the line, and that looks like that's going to move the sticks. So it's going to bring up a first down. Summer Creek Bulldogs ever so approaching the red zone. So Summer Creek Bulldogs in kind of all maroon, somewhat similar, I guess you could say, if you're somewhat describing it or comparing it to kind of like a Mississippi State Bulldog maroon / A&M maroon, and with the maroon helmet. So 9, the quarterback, going to go RPO once again. He's going to hand the ball off to number 30, and that is going to be Tykeem Tillman, the junior running back. So this is going to bring up a second down. That's going to be second down and about 8. So the quarterback here is Jarek Jones, the senior quarterback for the Summer Creek Bulldogs. So Bulldogs versus Mustangs tonight, Friday Night Lights here in Humble, Texas. So quarterback going to go over the top, but the receiver is going to lose his footing. So fortunate for North Shore that was the case, because that's their looks to be their number 1 receiver, and Rorian Richardson, the senior wide receiver for the Summer Creek Bulldogs. So ball is at the 25-yard line. Jones in the shotgun formation, 1 running back flank behind him. He's going to hand the ball off 25, and 25 is the guy who gets a little bit of a gain there. That is Lloyd Avant, the junior running back, and I believe he's actually the one who scored that opening touchdown. So just in case you're tuning in, it's 7-0 in favor of the Summer Creek Bulldogs. So phenomenal job so far for Summer Creek Bulldogs. They're going to set up for a field goal. So they're going to try to extend this lead from 7-0 to potentially 10-0. So the ball is going to be placed at the 24, so about 34-yard field goal. And that is going to be no good, and it's going to be wide left. So North Shore Mustangs going to see what they can do. Second offensive drive here for the North Shore Mustangs. Okay, so ball is going to be placed at about just inside the 20-yard line. So North Shore operating out of their own 20-yard line, probably about 19.5-yard line to be exact. Amador and company, shotgun formation, one receiver / tight end in motion towards the far and near side of the field. So Amador rolling out far side of the field, and he is going to hit his intended wideout, and that is going to be number 2, Christopher Barnes, the 5'8", 160-pound junior wide receiver. So Barnes, this was last game actually, they played. It was at North Shore against Sea King Panthers. He did go down with an apparent injury, but it looks like he was able to come back in the ballgame. Unfortunately for the sophomore quarterback, Bailey was not able to have the same prognosis. So Amador RPO, he's going to call his own number, and he's going to do a phenomenal job, and he's going to get ever so close to the midfield. So ball's going to be placed at, let's say, the 41.5-yard line, and that is going to move the chains. So North Shore Mustangs, being at that game last week, really was filling for the quarterback, Caleb Bailey, the sophomore. Didn't really know what was going to happen because the backup quarterback was in a boot on the sideline, and they instead chose Amador. I was talking to people around the horn at North Shore, and they were telling me that it was kind of like Amador was going to be the odds-on favorite last year for the quarterback position, and Caleb Bailey, who was a freshman at the time, kind of showed out, and he was able to overtake Amador. Amador flipped over to receiver, so shotgun formation. Amador going to hand the ball off first back through the line, and he is going to get inside Summer Creek Bulldog territory near the 49-yard line. So David Amador, I believe a 3-star recruit at wide receiver. I think he's verbally committed to UTSA in San Antonio. So Amador trying to bark out the signals, and now he's going to look over to the offensive coordinator. So just inside Bulldog territory, Amador going to go throw quickly to Barnes, and Barnes is going to cross midfield, and he's going to get about the 45 or 46-yard line. So that's going to bring up, let's see, about 2nd and 7, I believe. And the ball is going to be pretty much smack dab at the 45, far side of the field. So North Shore going to see what they can do. So yeah, just going a little bit back into that last game, really thought North Shore was going to have a hard time switching over to the third-string quarterback. And really, they didn't seem to skip a beat, but reading the message boards, instead of winning by about 30-some points last week, they thought if Bailey was in, they could have extended it to 50 or 60-point advantage. So Amador calling his own number. You're seeing the speed, the athleticism. He is going to go all the way in for the apparent touchdown. So great job there by David Amador with 1:57 to go in this first quarter. They are looking at evening up this score here. It was 7-0 in favor of Summer Creek Bulldogs. Now it is 7-6. So the kicker, which is number 80, that's going to be Carlos Dominguez. So Carlos Dominguez extra point, and is going to be up, and it is going to be good, making it 7-7 in favor. Well, actually a tie ball game here between the Mustangs and Bulldogs. So with the 6A, looking at the top 7, I believe, very top-heavy 6A rankings so far. Of course, there's a few rankings out there. I was looking at the Dave Campbell one. Was having Austin Westlake, the Chaparrals out of Austin, Texas. First few weeks was number 1. North Shore finally was able to kind of leapfrog the Westlake Chaps, and North Shore has been the number 1 team ever since. So that is definitely going to be interesting to see I was seeing on some message boards that were saying that they believe that Austin Westlake would go Division One based on their enrollment size, but I think it takes into consideration enrollment for all playoff seats within their district slash league, and they were saying that I think it was Buda and some other team that depending on if one of those teams slides in there, that Austin Westlake could flip from D1 to D2. So definitely going to be interesting to see how D1 D2 playoff time kind of shakes out. I think the last let's say this last game of the regular season I believe is November 4th, and then it goes basically a 5 to 6 week postseason, culminating in about the mid-December Fall Classic, and that's going to be in Cowboy Stadium. So number 2 with speed to burn, unfortunately he kind of lost his fitting for the Summer Creek Bulldogs, and that's going to be Melvin Nichols, the senior. He's listed as an athlete. So athlete typically means that he's a multi-positional player. You usually see the term athlete thrown around within the scouting realm, rivals.com, max preps, things like that. But that's the first time I've seen that, at least on a program from the high school ranks. So quarterback going to be number 9. That is going to be Jarek Jones, the senior quarterback. So ball is going to be placed at about the 27-yard line. The slinging southpaw, the lefty, going to hit his number 1 receiver, and he is not really going to get a whole lot of anywhere, as it looks like 3 to 5 North Shore Mustangs quickly swarming towards that football on the far side of the field. Going back to that, so Galena Park, North Shore, we're just calling them North Shore. They are number 1. Austin Westlake ranked number 2. South Lake Carroll, near Fort Worth, Dallas area, is number 3. Duncanville, who was in that state title against North Shore. So quarterback going to go over the top, and is going to hit number 2 in stride. So you're seeing definitely the size and the arm strength on that quarterback, the lefty. Definitely, that was a phenomenal throw. Like I said, over the top. Number 2, basically, from what it seems like, is the number 2 target for that quarterback as he favors 1 versus number 2. So RPO style, going to hand the ball off to the guy I believe that got the first touchdown for the Summer Creek Bulldogs. That is going to be Lloyd Avant, the junior running back. So going back over there, so after Duncanville, we have number 5, and that is going to be Katy Tigers. Looks like a timeout is going to be called. Looks like it's going to be charged towards the Summer Creek Bulldogs. So going back to the rankings, Katy Tigers, got a chance to watch them last night. Legacy Stadium take on the defending 5A state champion, Katy Paetow Panthers, and Katy Paetow really, unfortunately, have a steep learning curve getting into those 6A ranks. They got beaten, unfortunately, fairly bad by a score of 54-0. The one kind of bright spot on the team as a whole was DJ Hicks. He's I believe he's ranked number 17 within the top 300 class of 2023. For the prospects going in, he's a verbally committed to Texas A&M, I believe within a week ago. And I saw in some threads that OU, there were a lot of Sooner fans that were kind of thinking that he was going to go to the Sooners, and unfortunately he verbally committed to the Aggies. But very great. Actually, it's an injury timeout. Looks like a North Shore player is down, but the offensive staff is picking him up, and that's going to be number 93 for the North Shore Mustangs. That's going to be Ryan Nichols, one of the top defensive players for the North Shore Mustangs. But like you said, so DJ Hicks just really showing out, having a phenomenal game, but unfortunately when you're on the other side of a 53 or 54-0 score, it is kind of hard to lament on that. But that kid's going to be special when he plays at the SEC for the next few years. So he previously had played at Allen, which is somewhat near the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I believe his dad is a coach, so something like, I guess his dad was being offered some type of position. So they flipped from Allen to Katie Paytow. So we're going to hand the ball off first back to the line, far side of the field for the Summer Creek Bulldogs, and that is going to be number 25, and that is going to be Lloyd Avant, the junior running back. So number 30, Tykeem Tillman, the junior running back, going to go out for a breather. So with under 15 seconds to go in this first quarter, that looks like that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So phenomenal game thus far tonight. 7-7 is the score. That's going to be the end of the first quarter. We'll be back right after this.